We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Steve and Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from the Valley of the Sun.
Today, Jill and I, well, it's still Friday, and today she's going to talk about why AirTable is imperative when buying and selling land. Before we get into it, though, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free. And back in the day, it was nearly impossible to find land without a mailing address, which is almost all of the property that we buy. So to solve this, we now access a live database by assessor's parcel number, APN, to find property instead of its actual address, like 123 Main Street. Like all of our products, we've developed it for our own use and then released it to the public on a website. In this case, we call it neighborscoot.com. It's incredibly easy to use. Almost all of our members use it to find property very, very quickly. In fact, fast enough while you're on the phone with the seller to see if you want to buy it. Contact support at landacademy.com and see if it's for you.
David wrote, can anyone give me any advice on setting up my website as it pertains to land acquisitions for a new land company? With no land, I'm a beginning Land Academy member. Anyone know of a web developer with UVUs that I could work with? I'm sure that was all over Discord with a bunch of people sharing tips, right?
It was slammed.
Okay,
Setting up a website, the real reason you want to set up a website very quickly is because when you send a mailer out, you're going to have your website on there. And the first thing that people are going to do when they send, just check you out on the internet to see if you're for real. Mm-hmm. So you want a great website all set up, maybe 1 or 2 pages at most. Nothing complicated that says, I'm Jack. This is my girl, Jill. Here's our dog. Here's a new car we just bought. We're real people just like you. Call us. We'll buy your property.
Cool.
Real simple stuff and really inexpensive.
Thank you for not bringing up the color palette. I thought since it's Jill Friday, you want to talk about the color palette.
Today's Jill Friday. She's going to talk about why AirTable is imperative when buying and selling land. This is the meat of the show.
So here's the scoop. We are aggressively hiring right now because, we're growing again. How it just happens. And not just Land Academy, but land business growing. Our numbers I just can't keep up. So, and we're building it. And this is a little side note. If you are in the Scottsdale, Arizona area and you want to work for us, send a note to support@landacademy.com. I'm not kidding. So, all right, got that out of the way. But the point is, so we've been meeting with our team, our hiring team right now, and talking about what we want and the right kind of people and who is successful working with us. And one of the common themes is how much we have realized a direct correlation to our successful staff members if they are organized and they have a great system. So it's not just, everything that we do every day, but also our land business. So let me bring this down to what the show is right here. So much of my and our success in just our day-to-day buying and selling of land is in a direct relationship to how organized we are. And the only way we could do that is having a system. We use Airtable, but there's Jura, there's all kinds of great things out there. But having that system where 6 people can log in at the same time and only focus on what specific task is needed of them, and they know what's needed of them, and they know exactly where the property is as it's going through the process, is a game changer. I can see incoming acquisitions. I see them working through the system. I see them going out to a broker. I can see postings for them all in this one thing. It's seamless how they move through, and it's not redundant. And once you get it set up, sure, let me back up. I'm all about hiring a pro too, because that's what we're doing right now. We're actually revamping our systems in Airtable. We hired a pro from Toronto who makes educational videos on this. We just said, fine, we want him. And he works for us now. He is creating our own custom system to make it even better. Because I know it can be. It's staggering what you can do in there. What do you think about it?
All throughout my career, there's internet tools that I would call revolutionary that absolutely and completely changed how and why I've always been buying and selling land, always. But how and why I bought it and sold it. And the first revolutionary tool in my world way back in the middle of the 90s was eBay. You know, we still to this day buy property relatively the same way that I've always bought it, but how we sell it is so different, it's silly. And so eBay changed all that for us. Everything became an auction and allowed us to buy 10 times the amount of property because we could just auction it off in a system. So then came, and I was going and purchasing it at tax auctions all over the country. Then came RealQuest Pro, which allowed us to now implement this, now what we still use, this mailing system where we reach sellers by direct mail. And at that times 10 our business. And all along the way, these products became available. NeighborScoop is one that Jill and I developed about 3 years ago, where that now allows us to look up property based on an assessor's parcel number. And so now we know exactly what we're buying. We know what it is within seconds and can make a decision. I
took my due diligence, got cut from hours to minutes.
Recently, it's been Airtable. Yeah. And Airtable is the situation where Jill has been fully implementing it in our land business for about 12 to 18 months with all the true time. She's been successfully accomplishing this with people who are a little bit older and not as comfortable with technology, and they got it and they get it. And now we've company-wide in all of our companies, we're using Airtable to close real estate deals, to hire VAs to get in there so we know what they're working on and control tasks. And we probably are 5 to 10 times more efficient, literally, than we were before. And so we're also finding out that certain people are not set up to just use a CRM at all. And so I love what you said, this is just the future now. And and we just need to be more efficient. You can work 40 hours a week with a couple of employees, or you can work literally 2 hours a week with a bunch of VAs using Airtable for next to nothing from a labor standpoint, if they get it.
Yeah, if you're brand new, you're brand new, you don't want to get started on, you're going to get your first 10 to 20 deals done and by yourself. Can you manage that yourself in Excel? Absolutely. No reason to run out and get an LLC. You can buy and sell property in your name as you're getting started, and you could use Excel for a little bit. I just want you to don't spend too much time there. I want you to, as soon as you realize, as soon as you decide, this is it, I'm doing it, this is what I'm going to be doing. Wow, that was easy. Look, I just made $100,000 in the last 6 months. I guess I know what I'm doing with the rest of my life. As many of us have had those revelations, then you need to go, all right, and do it sooner and not later. Get yourself going. There's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. That's okay. But it's going to save you big time down the road.
And there's lots of formal education out there that's cheap, less than $100 for 8 or 10. Yeah, and free. 8 or 10 hour class that's going to answer every question you've ever, you've ever had. What's great about CRMs too, which is what Airtable is that they're all basically the same. They have the basic stuff. So you can learn all this stuff about Airtable, and then eventually there's going to be something else that's newer and better and shinier and cheaper and all that. You can take all those concepts and just apply it. I've been using a CRM since 1993.
Me too.
And I'm sure you have too.
Since 90.
What's great about Airtable, in my opinion, very specifically, is it's so easy to use. Yeah. And you can credential everybody. So if you've got people in the Philippines, they just want to see a little section, you can
have different views and allow different permissions and all kinds of things, because it's much easier to lock it down and just give people what they need to know and just keep them on their task. It's once you get into it, I promise, and you get going in it, it's going to be fun and you're going to like it. And
what's bad about it? Specifically Airtable, is there anything bad?
No, it's just the only thing is honestly is the initial. The initial learning curve if you've never worked in something like that. But you'll get over it. It's no big deal.
Not the learning curve for Airtable, the learning curve for CRMs. Right. If you've never worked in a CRM, there's going to be a learning curve for the concepts. The same way if you've never worked in a spreadsheet in life and you turn on Excel, there's going to be a learning curve for that.
Going from 0 to CRM, like 0 to Excel, like what's the formula? What is that?
I honestly would take a week. I wouldn't rush through it. I would take a week and learn Airtable through YouTube videos and Udemy and all that stuff. And learning, nobody likes to learn new software.
Right.
Nobody, me least of all. But it's just where we are in this world, and we're all better for it.
That's great. Thank you. Happy you could join us today. 5 days a week. You can find us here on the Land Academy Show.
Join us next week for another interesting episode. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
Yep. It has changed everything. It's like I almost wish I would have started our kids in it. Here's what we're doing this week. I mean, you could use it like that. You could make Airtable your family calendar. Not kidding.
Microsoft 365 revolutionized our company in 2015.
Wow. I would have done that. I would have put all the kids on there and listed their chores in Airtable. Wow. So if you have an extra 2 or 3 kids around, because you can afford it, get your kids and their chores in Airtable. Your life will be better too. Hey, thanks for tuning in. And by the way, we are still working on this in case you didn't know. We are aggressively working on being able to, as a company, Land Academy, notarize documents worldwide from our office with you on your cell phone or any video that you have available. So rules have been changing, especially in our state. We are allowed to do this. We're working out the details now. So hang on. And if you want some more information about the service, just hit up our team, support@landacademy.com.
We are Jack and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you found our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.